All right. So do you remember I told you a story a few days ago about I got one chicken who's I don't know, he's being picked on really bad, and he's walking with a limp, so he's hurt his foot somehow. It doesn't appear to be something that is like mites or anything like that. It's strictly a I don't know. Sometimes these guys just get hurt somehow, and I decided to separate it out, so it's gotten a reprieve, but there's like no weight to this thing at all. So we've got him in here all by himself. I gave him a little rubber mat to stand on, and we'll just have to wait and see if this gets any better. But I'll let you know, things happen. Last year I had a chicken that, and it may have been a similar thing where he got injured, and I went out there and it was blind all of a sudden. But these chickens, you can see how they pecked his head, and it could have made that chicken blind, but it ended up withering away, and I had to put it out of its misery. And then I also had an eastern rat snake that came in and tried to swallow one of my large chickens, which there's no way it would ever that would have happened, but ended up killing one of my chickens, and he ended up losing his head. The snake did. So don't expect to keep your chickens forever. Things happen, and they only lay eggs for about 2 years consistently, and then it starts petering off pretty rapidly. So if you're growing chickens for eggs, they're not necessarily pets. You want them to be productive, and when they become unproductive, they should become dinner, and you just make sure you keep rotating in new chickens. So that's what I'm doing, is every 2 years I have another group of chickens that I bring in. And I'm hoping if I can get a rooster that I can create my own new flocks, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, right now it's like $2.50 a piece to order day-old chicks and have them delivered versus having to deal with the rooster and all the noises. But to be as self-sufficient as possible, you need to have a rooster, and we'll just have to see if that becomes a problem with the neighbors. I got somebody else a few houses down that has more than one rooster, and even though they're probably a football field away, they're pretty loud. You can't hear them when you're inside the house. When you sit out on the porch, they make a racket. So mine's towards the back of the house, and maybe it won't be so bad for the neighbors, but I'd like to be able to grow my own chicks. It's just another thing you have to provision for, and get a spot to grow them out, which I have down here. Just keep in mind it takes 4 months to grow them from a chick to and then you got to add, what is it, 20 or 30 days from an egg to hatching too. So it's like 5 months before you get any eggs. Plus you're taking a chicken out of commission for brooding. So all these things you have to consider. Anyways, we're going to kind of monitor this chicken. I got this extra space, so it's not too big a deal to me to kind of put it off to the side. But it wasn't roaming around anyway, so this isn't necessarily cruel. Just consider this like the nursing station to try to get this one back healthy if possible. But if it doesn't gain any weight over the next couple weeks, like I said, it just may become, well, it's too scrawny now to even make a meal out of it. But can't spend too much time on a single animal. I did want to tell you that I've had some problem with the bottom of the feet of my chickens. Occasionally we get these clay balls, and I actually had to grab the chickens up, take a pair of pliers, and break the clay balls off. And it's just when we've had a lot of rain and they're running around in this mud, but as soon as we get some grass going and everything, that won't be so much of an issue. So you got to be a little bit of doctor. And then one of my rabbits actually had something going on with his ears. I don't know if it was like a fungus infection or mites or whatever, but we had some drops for our dogs that we put in. I also ordered some drops online. I'll have to get that. Let me get that real quick so I can show you what that was. All right. So even though I researched and it said for rabbits to use a particular thing, by the time you order it on Amazon, you get it. It's a week or so later, and this rabbit was clearly had irritated ears. So this is what we used for our dogs, and I'm going to tell you right now, this worked. By the time we got the stuff that was meant specifically for rabbits, and there's some kind of active ingredient in this that everybody was recommending, the problem was resolved. alcohol, camphor oil. Yeah, this doesn't even have that ingredient everybody was recommending. But in any event, you're going to have to start stocking certain things like this to be your own doctor, because you can't afford to take your meat animals into the vet. It's just it's not cost effective, and most of this stuff is stuff you can treat yourself. In fact, part of my first aid kit, I'm going to do another video of supplemental things that you need for, you know, like aspirin and antacids and whatever. I mean, that kit has like some small amounts, but I've got some Sam's Club amounts, much bigger, that be good for years. All right, well, right now we've got just got to put a little water in here for the different animals, and I'm kind of done with this for the day. I got to print up my tax forms, excuse me, and get it over to the CPA. He's probably wondering what the heck's going on. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well, and God bless.